so rooted in our time and space that we don't tend to think of beyond it. And that's what we are going to talk. And in a specific way, we are going to talk about it from a citizenship point of view, which is the thematic for today. And what citizens? Whose citizens? Which citizens? You'll discover this through the day. But today and right now, we are going to be talking about our student citizens because they are our leaders of tomorrow and therefore have to be the citizens of today. And so, to take us through this session, to take us through some amazing experts who are going to be on this roundtable, may I please invite my co host, Preeti Khare. Preeti?
Yes.
Please help us understand. Preeti is an educator, trainer, consultant, advisor, coach. Oh my gosh, where do I stop? Right? She wears so many different hats. But the one that I'm very proud about is that she is a partner, part of the co-committee at the Rise Pico World Summit, and has done so much to help make this, if I can already start making a claim, very immodestly, a success. So thank you so much, Preeti, for being a part of us and helping us make this so great. Over to you.
Thank you so much, Karen. Um, I can't thank you enough for actually trusting me with this and for being a part of such a great thing that you have been doing for almost 13 years now. This is the 13th year running year, and I'm absolutely delighted to be a part of it. So, a very good morning to all of you here. And Deborah is not here, and other people who are coming and joining us as experts from overseas are, on the flight or something, they will join. But then good evening to whoever is joining from different parts of the world. Good afternoon, good evening. Karen and I welcome you, of course, to the Rise Speaker World Summit 2026. And in this round table, which is beyond time and space, as she said, one of the purposes of this roundtable is that student engagement should not end at graduation. The most impactful institutions recognize very beautifully that learning, mentoring, collaboration, contribution continue throughout a person's lifetime. And in this roundtable, we will explore how educational institutions can strengthen the relationships with the students during their academic journey and transform those relationships into vibrant alumni communities that can foster continuous learning, professional growth, and of course, social impact, right? And that is why in this particular roundtable, we have invited speakers who belong to this particular sector in their own very special ways. So let's just to set the context, I would like to just only say that research consistently has shown that the students' sense of belonging is one of the strongest predictors of retention and persistence of higher education. And I'm sure we all agree because we all in some way are associated with education, right? Students who feel connected to their institutions, peers, faculty, and community are significantly more likely to continue and complete their education, right? I'm sure we all are in with this. So, what if graduation is not the end of the student journey, but simply the beginning of a lifelong relationship? And today, we are going to explore all of this. And what if we see student engagement not just as an activity, doing something with students at one time of the year or something, but as a strategic ecosystem that can create that belonging that we are talking about, the retention, the employability, leadership, mentorship, whatnot. So without further ado, I would actually invite Dr. Bhaker for this to be setting a little more of the context of how has student engagement evolved over the last decade, and we can take it from there. So I will also like to all of our guests today, guest speakers who are there with us today. Dr. Nitesh, just a brief introduction from my side, and then we can take it with Dr. Bhakkar. So, Dr. Nitesh, who is the Director and Dean of the Institute of Management, Nirma University, Ahmedabad. Welcome, Dr. Nitesh. Dr. Bhakkar, who is the Vice Chancellor of the Prestige Institute of Management, Indore, which is deemed to be a university pretty soon. Our next speaker is Dr. Suman, who is a professor of technology with Atlas Institute, who's also a partner, like Karen said, with us today. Then Dr. G.T. Thampi, who is the principal, Thadomal Sahani Engineering College, Mumbai. Mr. Manish Rajoria, who's going to be joining us pretty soon, who is the founder of Blue Collar Jobs AI and the CEO founder of Career Group of Institutions. Deborah Sawaf, who is the founder and CEO of Power of Words, that she's also bringing to India, which I am very proudly a part of also, which is Power of Words Foundation, and it is a movement to EI and mental well-being. So now we start with Dr. Bhakkar. And Dr. Bhakkar, I repeat my question, and you can take your thoughts from there. How has student engagement evolved over the years, and what are institutions currently doing to maintain the alumni relationships? Over to you, Dr.
Good morning.
Bhakkar.
Okay.
Good morning.
Distinguished panel members and intellectual audience, organizers of this Pico World Summit, specifically, I would say Neelamji and Preeti Khareji. Good morning to you all, and warm welcome to each of you to this roundtable. It's a privilege to open this session within the Beyond series, and I want to begin by taking the name of this series very seriously, because it hands us our starting point, beyond time and beyond space. I can think of few subjects that earn that phrase more honestly than the one before us today: strengthening student engagement and alumni communities. For a long time, we have understood the student journey as something bounded by time and by space. Bounded by time because we imagined it had a clean beginning at admissions and a clean ending at convocation. Bounded by space because we imagined it happened here on our campus in the boundaries of the institution. The student arrives, spends a few years with us, graduates, and the relationship closes politely at the gate. The promise of this roundtable is that both of these boundaries have quietly dissolved. Consider first thing, the relationship we build with a student doesn't end at graduation. In truth, that is where its second and longer life begins. The engaged student becomes the connected alumnus. The connected alumnus becomes the mentor, the recruiter, the guest faculty, the collaborator, the donor, and very often the reason a future student chooses us at all. Engagement and alumni connections are not two separate projects. They are the same relationship seen at two different points in time. Now consider space. Our graduates are no longer down the road. They are across cities, across countries, across continents. A community that once relied on physical proximity now had to live as a network. Belonging itself has had to learn to travel so that someone in another time zone can still feel part of this place. The campus is becoming less a location and more a connection. So the question before us stretches beyond time and beyond space. How do we build a relationship strong enough to last a lifetime and span a globe? Let me turn to the key question I want to place before this table. What does meaningful student and alumni engagement actually look like today? Let me first say what it is not. It is not attendance. It is not a full auditorium or a signed register, a well photographed annual function, or a database of email addresses we never write to. These are signs of activity, not of engagement. A student can be present and still not belong. An alumnus can be on our mailing list and still feel entirely forgotten. Meaningful engagement today rests, to my mind, on three things: belonging, voice, and continuity. A student is engaged when they feel this institution is partly theirs, that there is at least one corner of it, one mentor, one club, one project where they are known by their own name and they matter. The same is true of an alumnus, who must feel a continuing member of this community rather than former customer of it. Modern engagement is not something we do to people, it is something we do with them. Students expect to co create. Alumnus do not wish to be approached only when we need funds. They want to contribute what they value most: their experience, their networks, their judgment, and continuity. Meaningful engagement is a relationship with no expiry date, moving seamlessly from the one who is mentored to the one who mentors. And this is not soft sentiment. This evidence is striking. The Gallup organization, in what is now the largest study of its kind, more than 100,000 graduates surveyed found that the single strongest predictor of a graduate thriving in work and in life was disarmingly simple: having had a mentor at college who cared about them and encouraged their dreams. Graduates who felt genuinely supported during their student years were more than twice as likely to be engaged in their work, not only in the institution, in their work, and thriving in their well being decades later. In short, the quality of engagement we offer a student today literally shapes the kind of alumnus and the kind of human being they become tomorrow. It helps to see how we arrived here. So let me speak briefly to how student engagement has evolved over the last decade, because the change has been profound. 10 years ago, engagement was largely physical, scheduled, and one directional. It lived on notice boards and event calendars. The institution announced, the student attended. Today, it is digital native, always on, and two directional. This generation has grown up inside communities on their phones, interest led and global by default, and they expect the same from us. Three shifts stand out. First, from consumption to co creation, as students move from being recipients of activities to designers of them through student led clubs, incubators, and initiatives. Second, from classroom to experience, with engagement now flowing through internships, live projects, competitions, and real problem solving. And third, accelerated sharply by the pandemic years, the blurring of physical and virtual, so that a hybrid, borderless campus is now simply normal. For this generation, the wall between being on campus and being online has all but come down. Against that backdrop, let me name a few things that are already working well, because context should celebrate what is right and not only diagnose what is missing. Peers and near peers mentoring works, where senior students and recent graduates guide newer ones. Student led communities work, the club chapters and incubation cells that students genuinely own. Experiential project based engagement works because nothing bonds it student to an institution like doing meaningful work under its banner. And small, interest based micro communities often work far better than one large generic body because belonging is felt in small rooms, not large crowds. The common thread is simple: engagement deepens whenever we hand people genuine ownership. That brings us to institutions that continuously keep engaging students through small group activities. This is absolutely important to keep students engaged, and those students belong not only to each other, they also belong far more to the institution than the others. Turning to the second half of our subject, what are institutions actually doing to maintain alumni relationships? The serious ones have moved well beyond the annual reunion. They have built dedicated alumni relation functions with real people who own the relationships. The uh, faculty members, current faculty members, uh, are responsible to ensure that the alumni are engaged with the institution, are connected to the institution at all times. They have created digital platforms that directories so the community is reachable and self-organizing. They have organized the diaspora into chapters by city, by region, by sector. They have invited alumni back as mentors, guest faculty, recruiters, and advisors. They have begun to offer value back through lifelong learning and continued access on the sound principle that a relationship survives only when it flows both ways. And they treat alumni data as a strategic asset, capturing the relationship at graduation rather than trying to build it years later when it has gone cold. We have seen institutions try to get in touch with alumni when it is Silver Jubilee, Golden Jubilee, etc. And they find that it is almost impossible to get in touch with the alumni because we have not maintained any contact with them for years. So it is absolutely important that we develop the relationship when we redevelop the relationship when the students are passing out. Create members of alumni association at, at graduation and not later. The last point deserves emphasis. The biggest failure in alumni relations is not neglect 10 years after graduation. It is the silence in the first year after it. The relationship is warmest on the day a student becomes a graduate. And that is precisely the moment most institutions allow it to cool. Because institutions feel a fresh pass out does not contribute much to the institution. It is the it is the alumni who spent 15, 20 years in the industry who can contribute more. So we try and get connected when the alumni has spent 15 years, 20 years in the industry. Now, that is the time we will never be able to connect with them. Let me make this concrete with institutions that do both halves exceptionally well because they prove what is possible. Now, there are a few examples that I'm going to quote here, and only a brief part. Look at MIT. A landmark study estimated that the companies founded by its leaving alumni numbered more than 30,000, employed some 4.6 million people, and generated close to $1.9 trillion a year. Enough taken together to rank among the 10 largest economies on the world. That is not luck. It is the compounding returns of an institution that engages its students as builders and then never lets go of them as graduates. The community does not merely remember MIT, it actively powers it and powers the next generation into. The next institution I would like to quote is Princeton, which consistently records the highest rate of alumni giving donations of any major American university, anywhere in the world, in fact. In recent years, more than 2 in 5 of all its leaving graduates, 2 in 5, mind you, have, that is 40%, have chosen to give back every single year, a figure that has historically crossed 1 in 2. The secret is not wealth, it is connection, deliberately engineered. Princeton almost uniquely holds a reunion for every class, every year. It simply refuses to let the bond fade. Our own IITs now show the same pattern with growing force. Graduating anniversary batches return to give tens of crores to their alma maters. IIT Madras has received a single alumni gift of over 200 crore rupees. And recently, two IIT Mumbai alumni founders of a global software company gave 100 crore rupees to the alma mater, dedicated entirely to the rebuilding student hostels and improving campus living. Notice what that gift is for. It closes the loop perfectly. Alumni who were shaped by their student experience, giving back precisely to enrich the student experience of those who follow. What unites every one of these examples is a simple principle. They treat their people not as two audiences, but as one lifelong community, engaged richly as students and embraced permanently as alumni. The engagement and the giving are not two strategies, they are one relationship, compounding across time and across space. Now, let me be candid about where most of us actually stand against these examples, because honest context is the most useful gift I can
Dr.
offer.
Bhaker, can I actually, we will do that a
That's
little
okay.
later,
Remaining,
but
we can
thank you.
take as questions.
Yeah, we will take as
And there's
questions.
nothing much left. I was just to end.
Okay.
I was
Thank
to end
you.
in any case.
Yeah,
All right.
yeah. So no,
All
we will
right.
definitely take up the questions a little later.
Perfect.
But
Right.
thank you so much for sharing
Welcome.
the entire insights and actually setting the context for us to take it further. Karen?
So the way we have, thank you so much, Professor.
Karen, did it hang for you?
Yes, I think she has lost the
Yeah.
network.
We can't. Karen, can we can't hear you because your video is hanged and we can't listen to you as well.
Ma'am, I will got internet issue just now.
All right. So I would really, on her behalf, I would like to thank Dr. Bhaker for, like I said, for first of all setting the context. She's back. She's back.
So sorry, I don't know what happened. Just suddenly went blank. Okay. So the way we like to look at the whole conversation, and we of course encourage others to also come in. So anyone can come in from here onwards, other than the context setting we generally all speak, is that we talk about what are the kind of challenges to doing this, because like Professor said, there is so much of wealth that is out there. And I also want to caution just one more point before we kind of move to talking to the other parts of it, the challenges, the capabilities, the collaboration that is possible, right? Is that we cannot only look at alumni from a point of view of funding, that alumni will give back in form of finance. Yes, of course, that's a very key part, and most alumni do that. But there is a huge ocean of alumni who are not doing that too. Perhaps a larger percentage. It's always the 80-20 rule, right? So 20% who are giving, but 80 are not giving. Why? Because they've got other things that they can give, but nobody's asking. No institute is asking. So I think the challenge number one is the mindset that we have. And I would invite others to kind of share what challenges you think are there in dealing with both student the student engagement right in the in the campus as well as beyond, right? How do we make them realize that they have got so much more to offer to the institute beyond just their financial wealth, right? So I leave it to Dr. Suman or Dr. Bhatt to kind of take us forward on that. Yeah.
Right. Yeah. Yeah. Thanks, Karen. Thanks. So I think we can start with Dr. Nitesh. And Dr. Nitesh, like we are talking about challenges right now. So one of the key questions is what actually prevents the institutions from creating this lifelong engagement, or many students, the relationships get weakened after graduation. So what are the challenges really? If you could pinpoint that, and then we can go over to Dr. Suman to add on to this.
Good morning, and I also welcome all the participants, and I'm very happy to be among this August panel and wonderful speakers from academy as well as industry. At the outset, alumni's role are very important. They are wonderful stakeholder. They are the face of any institute or university in the society or industry. They are our representative. They are our brand ambassador. Their performance, their action, their words, their gesture enhances the brand equity of the institute or the university which they represent. Very quickly, before answering Preeti's question, at Institute of Management, Nirma University, we have completed
I want to
years,
connect to the car.
three decades. And in these 3 decades, we have 8,500 plus alumni who are working across the globe, across the sectors, across the industries, and they are from our MBA programs, PhD program, as well as diploma program too. So how do we engage? You are talking about lifelong engagement and so. So lifelong engagement is part of year-long engagement. So what do they do and how do we engage them? So as Professor Bhakar was lucidly mentioning, they are part of our admissions panel. We engage them to teach the entire course or part of the course. They are involved in the institutional governance activity also. So it may be board of studies, it may be academic council. They help us, of course, representative one in designing our programs or courses also, right? They act as a mentor for our students, which groom them, nurture them in getting the desired and dream placements, as well as in startups too for our MBA and family business programs. And lastly, of course, everything else, they help us in live projects, summer internship and placement too. And apart from all these things which I talked about, there are multiple touch points which help us to engage with them. And that's where technology also comes. It may be Alma Connect, it may be LinkedIn, it may be city-based or sector-based or batch-wise WhatsApp group, conferences, and many others and so. So this is just a brief context setting from my side. And quickly now, let me answer the first question which you said. What prevents creating lifelong engagement? So this is about the industry and not any institute, based on my interaction with hundreds and thousands of academicians in last 25, 30 years, particularly in India. Now, what happens till the time they are with the institute, whether it is in engineering or pharmacy or management and so. So 2 to 4 years, right? They are in classes, they go to library, they interact with faculty member, and they pursue and chase their goal of placement or startups or whatever. However, as Karen was mentioning, immediately after they get that desired job, they become busy in their career. And industry, we all say it's not rhetoric, it's really cutthroat. And in last few years, the challenge has grown exponential or manifold, right? So now, of course, with internet and internet industry 4.0 and so. So they become busy in career. And if we expect them to contribute on a regular basis, really, it becomes difficult for them. And it's not just the career, but family comes also, kids comes also. And when on one end, they themselves are struggling with their work-life balance. And at that juncture, if we expect them to contribute in a very, very constructive and regular manner to the institute, while it's a desirable, it always may not be possible. And one more thing I would like to tell at this particular juncture, right? With all due regards to alumni, the time have changed in particularly in last 5-10 years and so. Over a period of time, I see the erosion in the values also. Students are focused on their core goal And over a period of time, I see, and I'm sure a lot of experts are noting, they have become transactional too. And not just they, maybe I will say everybody has become transactional in some or the other way. So relationship is definitely getting compromised. So this is my opening answer to your question.
Totally.
I think that is a beautiful and very candid, insight that one is you get so busy, as soon as you get out of college. And I think we are all also the same. We can't just blame and say students because we at some point were students. And I'd like to share some experience of my, as my alma mater, since Professor Thampi is not here. But yeah, I mean, I think that really made a lot of sense. And second is, I mean, values, yes, but I think there, and if I could challenge the challenge, how can, that is the whole purpose, right, of this conversation. How can institutes maintain that value system, the culture that will allow them to feel at least connected? Yes, they may not engage actively, they may not be there, but can they be? So Preeti, I don't know what, do you think there are some, because you are an educator, you are a trainer, you're your coach, right? What can you do when they are students? See, because this value system is not only when they are alumni, right? It's not suddenly a new value system when they become alumni. It's a value system when they are students itself. And I think, Preeti, you play such a big role in doing that. So maybe you'd like to say something on that.
Yeah, absolutely. Thank you, Karen, for that. I very strongly feel that what you said as a part of culture. Can we imbibe it from the very beginning? So, like Dr. Nitesh or Dr. Bhakar was already mentioning, that we do bring industry experts, and these are the alums sometimes, right? Can we, when from day one or year one, like if I were to say, when we bring these alums, we can have certain maybe WhatsApp groups. Somebody comes and delivers a session and is gone. Now, there is no way you can have this LinkedIn Connect for sure. But how many people do entertain the students? And because like Dr. Nitesh said, they are in their own lives, they're in their own career. Absolutely. And students are chasing the goals. So here is the challenge. So can we as institutes, probably when we are doing the orientations, right, in the beginning, if we can bring in a couple of alums at that point in time, introduce people that what kind of work are they doing after not just passing out, but really contributing back in some way, and connection with these alums would mean what? It could be employability, it could be belongingness, it could be learning from them, it could be mentorship, it could be learning leadership, it could be many, many other things, right? So once, when we're talking about the values, like what Dr. Nitesh said, I am sure the values are an issue, but at the same time, each student is chasing the goal in the direction of getting a good job, getting some help through mentorship, getting some learning from experiences of others. When they feel that, okay, they are a part of the system and they can access people. Currently the thing is that they know that there is this whole community and our alums are there, but they haven't really seen them. They haven't really met them. And if they have met them, the connection happened for a session. Can we have organized WhatsApp groups? Or can we have some organized something on the portal? I don't know. But what I am thinking is, and I feel very passionate about this subject because I know what it can do. As a mentor, I have done it as an alum to my people who were coming as successors to the college, etc. Right? So in that case, I think Dr. Nitesh, Dr. Bhakar, and many others over here, Dr. Mandeep is also a part of the system, Dr. Simon, if we can actually do something on those lines and at least think on those lines, wherein we, during orientation or programs in the beginning, get in those alums, get them introduced to the walking in students, and that building of that relationship begins to happen there. They see that there is an accessibility, because I will tell you, Karen, and I'm sure Deborah will agree to that. There is a concept of, in the West, concept of elder brother and elder sister. And what are this elder brother and elder sister? The person who has gotten in the graduate or undergraduate second year, actually each student is given a mentor, and they call it elder brother or elder sister. right? And this person, right from you actually getting an egg boiler at your home or getting the basic furniture, really mentors you how to take courses, what to take, who to reach out. Continuously, there is a hand on them, to help them. So they feel connected with this brother like anything, and it's a relationship beyond, measure. It's something that they connect so deeply with, right? I know my son is in UCI, and his elder brother and his younger sister means so much to him. Everything that he's learned is through this person from the university.
True.
So if we can do something like that, that we have a couple of alums actually be a part of the ecosystem in a way that we can map them, 2 3 to 1, like I don't know, we can work around that. I don't want to get into the nitty-gritties, but this is one of the examples that
I have a
think.
solution for that, but we'll talk about that in a little bit, because that's what the whole Pico World platform is to do, is to build collaboration, build collectiveness, build connections, So we'll talk about that in a little bit. But Preeti, I want to say one more part of the challenge, and I'm going to ask Dr. Suman to come in over here, because Atlas is our an academic partner this year. One of the problems, and again to go back to the challenge of value system and culture, as you said, is what are we expecting from our students today? Right? If the expectation from our student is to excel in academia, okay, and have a focus on their career and job and placement, then obviously that's what they're going to go and do when they become alumni, because that's what they're going to focus on, their job, the economy, the money, the financials, and all of that, right? But while they are students, if we do student engagement programs that go beyond the classroom, okay, into the community, into the society, then that's where they learn the value of giving back. That's where they will learn the value of bringing in everything around them into their lives, right? That their life is not just about the workplace and their jobs and careers. And I think Atlas is a great example right now when we move to capabilities, how you build student engagement programs, and I think many institutes now are doing this, of course, but I'm just taking the example of Atlas because one is, they are our partner, and Dr. Suman is right here with us. The students are expected to do internships with NGOs or social enterprise or social or environmental based initiatives, which helps them to therefore, get a more rounded view. And accordingly, of course, their value systems also get affected. So maybe Dr. Suman, you can say a few words. But as I said, really happy to have you all as a partner with us this year. And many of the interns are right now helping us with this summit itself and with other work. So Dr. Suman, over to you. Yeah.
Thank you so much for the opportunity, ma'am. To be very frank, I believe that collaboration in academia, it is not starting after you become a graduate. It is something which is starting long before, when you were part of that a particular institution, right? The thing is that nowadays what happens is that belongingness, that sense of connectivity is missing in the students, because when we actually teach them in the college, we think of, okay, this is a student, or the student may be thinking as a top part of, okay, my grades are associated, my result is associated, or some other kind of personal selfish kind of motto. I'll not say selfish, that is a main objective also, but at the same time they lose that science, that connectivity, that belongingness. So what I feel is that collaboration actually begins long before the student become an alumni of any institution. And we should actually think of, as everyone has said here, we can think of as in creating a community for the student instead of just creating them a large database. Because when a student knows, okay, this is my academic journey, to be very frank, with the experience of 28 years in this education sector, and with last job when I was actually I'm very recent entry to the Atlas as such, but in my last job working with an institution for almost 15 years, what I felt is that since I, as an faculty, I am attached to the students are attached to the faculty members also. It is not only the institution who is going to look forward this collaboration, it is the faculty, because we are teaching them continuously. We are with the students associated for almost 4 5 years, depending on the graduation time, and daily for 5 to 6 to 8 hours, right? And even beyond that also, when they are submitting their projects, assignments, and the kind of support we are giving them, they get that belongingness to us. I am very happy and very proud that my students whom I used to teach in 2005, now in 2026, I'm still attached to those student groups. The student, they, even though I have changed my institution thrice in between, but still I am very happy that on this teachers day, that student, they found where I am. They tried to connect and find out my recent address. They knew, they have my number. They knew that I'll be connected on the LinkedIn, on the Facebook or other social media, but they find out my address from other sources to give me a good surprise on this teachers day. So that is what is that belongingness is, and that is what I feel that is leading to the collaboration. Because when I asked one of those students, can you help me out in giving a training to my current institution, that student said, yes ma'am, I am going to come and give this collaboration, and I am going to train the students for this kind of certifications, and I'm going to give them the not only the training for the certifications, I'm going to train them how to clear, I'm going to give them that simple points also, how they can clear that certification also. So that is what that collaboration actually means. You should not simply think of on, okay, this is the responsibility of the institution. It is all the stakeholders which are responsible for building up this association. We cannot ignore a faculty member, we cannot ignore alumni, we cannot ignore the current student, we cannot ignore institution as such. It is collaboration of all 5-6 stakeholders,
Yes.
which is going to work together for the betterment of not only the institution but for our students also.
Very true.
And
That is true collective responsibility. So
yes, that is the
absolutely,
collective
that is a
responsibility we should
no
take.
doubt. Yeah, yeah.
Right.
So
And
Preeti, we've managed to get Deb, luckily,
Yes.
and she's also joined us, and also
Right.
Dr. Mandeep, of course. So
Yes.
would you like to
Yeah,
take that forward,
absolutely,
please? Yeah.
absolutely. Yeah, what just Dr. Suman said, something triggered, and then so imagine this. It's so beautiful what she said. You know, students learning from the alumni, alumni recruiting the students, alumni mentoring the alumni. You know, faculty collaborating with the industry, graduates returning as speakers, and what Mr. Dr. Bakar said, investors, mentors, etc. So, I mean, I would ask Deb now to actually share if your Wi-Fi is allowing, Deb, because she just messaged me that she's in a very bad spot. But if you can unmute yourself, Deb, and see that if you can throw some light on this, the capabilities part, the C capabilities of that, that how can we really create that social capital? And yeah.
Hi, Preeti, thank you. I'm sorry, I'm in the car, so I'm not going to put the video on because we're driving and I'm afraid I'll lose Wi-Fi. I'm not sure if you can hear me well.
We can.
You
Go
can?
ahead, please. Yes, absolutely.
I'm going to go back on the topic, Preeti, that we were just talking about. You know, you mentioned the big brothers and big sisters. That is such an important part and an important role that alums have played. But we don't have to only look at alums from the university. There are so many executives that are willing to give their time. And I'm going to give you a little example. When I moved to the United States, I had a very hard time trying to launch myself commercially because I had no network. Network is everything. I started to mentor students at universities, graduating entrepreneurs, and made it a point to connect them through relationships. It has to be a relationship. And I mean, I'm never short of people that are willing to come on and mentor someone. It is such a big culture in the United States. Mentoring is almost, and I'm sure it is in India as well. I haven't been in India for a long time, but it becomes your responsibility, especially once you've been successful. I just wanted to, talk about that for a quick moment. And something else that I'm doing is I'm chairing the World Technology Summit in India in October. That is a really great opportunity for students to attend. They get to interact with global leaders from technology, from science, from different, from gaming, from sports. It's where the world is going now, but it's really great because these people that we bring in, the leaders we bring in, actually take the time to spend time with students. So it's something to look into. We're doing it in Delhi and in Pune this year, and we're looking at Bangalore next year. So for any of the universities that are on here that might be interested, connect with you, and we'll let them have the information on that.
Mm. Well, thank you. Thank you for letting us know that, Deb. You mentioned, and reiterated on the big brothers and the alums already, the students who are already existing either in the institutions, within the system, or they have left. I really wanted you to also talk a little bit more on what capabilities do exist outside of the institution. What more?
When we talk about capabilities, we often think of it as infrastructure, AI, capital, talent. But I believe the greatest capability exists inside each of us, inside, and that's the work I'm doing so much. The capabilities come from within. It's our ability to connect, to empathize, to listen, to create trust, but building communities that can understand that, understand the need for the basis of what students need today. Yes, we push skills and we're pushing technical skills, but what about the emotional skills they need to manage those technical skills?
Hear you.
With every corporation, university, government body possesses extraordinary human capital. Inside every institution, we have this. It's available. Leaders who want to serve. So let's reach out. A lot of this has to come from relationships. I focus so much on personal relationships, people that have been successful, that are willing to give their time. Faculty and managers who, naturally mentor others.
No, I think what Deb is saying in terms of how technology can play a very big role in keeping those connections. So while connections and relationships are personal, the means to keep those connections alive is, really more technology based. And so, yes, makes a lot of sense. Plus, it is also a huge opportunity from a point of view how the world is evolving in terms of both career paths, as well as for mentoring. So yes, all of those are linked to technology and play a big role in building these networks as well, right? So thanks, Deb, so much for maybe sharing that. So Preeti, do you think Dr. Mandeep can maybe talk more towards the capability as well as opportunities for collaborations moving forward? Yeah.
Manish was to join, Karen, but
Okay.
I can definitely, Dr. Mandeep is also, teaching and is in the same sector as education. Dr. Mandeep, would you like to add here what Karen just asked? Your thoughts? Dr. Mandeep?
Okay, while because Dr. Nitesh also is off video, maybe you can just check with them. Yeah. Dr. Nitesh, would you like to come in and share a few words?
Just like to add one point is many of the alumni members complain we approach them only when we require the help during summer internship or placement, or many others people said that during the some funding or something like that. So again, so that's where I brought the point that we are also becoming, as an institute or as a industry, we are becoming transactional. So that's where like lifelong or year-long engagement is required in academic activity, right? All the other touch points which I talked about. So it has to be a year-long activity, an entire spectrum of activity. And therefore, maybe many of the good institutes have a engagement calendar. Just like we are having a yearly calendar for academic activity, alumni engagement calendars are there. And for better capability and collaboration, good institute invest in structural thing. For example, alumni office, alumni chairpersons, where dedicated space, infrastructure, arrangement for, let's say, beverages, which is too trivial, but I'm saying there is a dedicated space where they can also come. And many of the institutes later on, the alumni becomes, let's say, chairpersons, right, or something like that. So,
Right,
so
right.
to think about those aspects too.
Absolutely, 100%. And I was just, last year, I was teaching at IIM Sambalpur, and I met somebody who was an acquaintance of my husband, and they were from the same college, Manet, Jaipur. They did their engineering from there. And, it takes a few always, Dr. Nitesh, I feel, to build whatever it is building or seen. It takes a few in the beginning, but once this movement is started, I call it a movement because I saw it as a movement when I was talking to this person who is now sitting on a WhatsApp group of about 2000 some plus people who have come together as alums and are so willing and so helping. They make it a point that they're not just waiting for the institute to actually connect. They are doing their own efforts so that the alum first of all stays connected. And that's what Karen and we are talking about, that this ecosystem is not just the students or the alums or faculty and alum. It is between them and amongst all of these stakeholders, right? So I really loved it how he said that he was the first one to actually initiate a very private WhatsApp group with one or two people just initiating that and then trying to meet in Sambalpur, and then it kind of has now extended to a gala event that they do on their own, so that the alums come together, the people or the same batch and previous batch, and so everybody has joined there. It's these 2000 plus people are not just 1 year or from the same year or the same batch. They are, you would imagine, from different places, different years, but they're coming together once they come to know, oh, it is, the Jaipur Manet that we talk, an IT that we are talking about. And the moment everybody knows that there is a network like that and they're meeting at some place, everybody comes together and wants to join, because that's where there is also a place of networking, giving back, giving. And then there they form and get ideas and brainstorm. There is a dedicated 1 hour sometime, for brainstorming what they can do to give back. And I just absolutely love that, because amidst, partying and enjoying together and getting to know each other, there is also a reason and a purpose which is much bigger and larger than themselves, right? And I so loved it when they said that, okay, we are doing that. Why don't we start this with Sambalpur also? Now that you are here inside. And I did happen to talk to one of the, key persons. So yes, absolutely. I mean, I just love this idea.
Give another example
Yes.
of what alumni can do, and very different from what we've been talking so far. So, which are all great, obviously, careers, mentoring, visiting faculty, even tours. I mean, a lot of alumni offer their places, because many of them are entrepreneurs. They have their own businesses, and they allow them to come for tours and also learning tours. So, those are all great ideas. But let me give you one example, which is really unique. What we are doing, what we did. And like I said, I'm feeling bad that Professor Thampi couldn't, because he was my principal of my college when I did my engineering. And you will not believe, during the pandemic, okay, we came together, the whole our batch at least came together initially to come and work together and to help solve problems and contribute towards different issues, including oxygen cylinders, all that and more. But when it got over, most of these efforts normally just dissolve. And this is where I want to kind of talk about the power of connections and staying together. And that's when they all discussed and decided and said, what do we do beyond this? We came together, we've done a lot, but now what? I mean, do we just disband? And then they said, no, it's so powerful what we've done. We need to continue. And you will not believe it actually got registered as a charity in the US, because most of them, all engineering students disappeared to the US very quickly. I'm one of the few in India in that sense. And actually registered a 503, C in the US, and that has continued now in multiple other projects, because obviously there's nothing left with the pandemic anymore. But because also they started with health, they have this help pillars, and we look at health, education, livelihood, and psychosocial support. Because of that initiative, so many other alumni are now joining. It started with one batch, but now all the other alumni. So alumni, associations, alumni networks can achieve so much, beyond the classroom, that we should really start recognizing that. And I think Dr. Bhaskar was also talking a little bit earlier that he had some more to share. So maybe this would be a good time to bring him
Yes.
as well.
Yes, yes, Dr.
Well,
Bhaskar, please.
I'll tell you that. See, informal groups very nice, but number of times what happens is over a period of time, these informal groups, part of that becomes inactive and so on. Institutions can help by having formal groups. Like we formed number of chapters city-wise, country-wise, where larger number of alumni are working. So people within a particular country, specifically when they are not in India, outside India, would like to have people around, so that they want to get together, celebrate different occasions, etc. So, formally also, if we can form chapters across, within India, outside India, that can provide this. The students have that formal association, so they can come together, and then institution initially can help, and later on, once the chapters become active, then the alumni will take care. It is only the initial part. I mean, some individuals can take the initiative that Prithiji talked about, but it will not happen that everyone or a large number of students would take such initiative. So if the institution starts this process, then I'm sure larger number of students can join that.
Right, right.
Another,
Yeah.
Ji.
Yeah, go ahead, please, Dr. Bhaskar.
No. What I was talking about was that this relationship or transactional relationship starts at the institution. It is not because the students become very busy, and I mean, as alumni, they are working in industry, they have family, etc. It is because the institution never talked to them when they passed out after that for a year, two. As I mentioned, that the first and second year are the most important period when the institution starts, or the disengagement starts. If the institution doesn't get in touch with the student for number of reasons that these students can be involved in, like say we have that in our annual function, we have some activities or some, in fact, when the students, alumni perform. I mean, they get together, they prepare, they perform. So they will never, leave the institution. They would always be part of the institution. And this I'm talking about, it is generally the students who have recently passed out. You won't find a student who's passed out 15 years back probably coming and performing in your annual fest. But students who just passed out, this is how, I mean, they may not be able to contribute much as mentors, but then they can definitely contribute much more in engaging, in collaborating or networking with current students and among themselves. So institutions can definitely do that. What we've been doing now, all our placement preparations are done through alumni. Alumni. I mean, see, we look for a company saying we are coming for campus. We get in touch with our alumni who are working in that company, specifically the ones who have recently joined, and then invite them, whoever gets time, whoever can spare time. So we get in touch with them, ask them if you can spend some time with our students and tell them what is expected in the selection process, how it will go, what will be the stages in the selection process, and so on. And at times even train them on different components. So that's how they remain in touch. The ones who are young, who just passed out maybe 4 years back, 3 years back, and so on. Majority of institutions do remain in touch with, or try and remain in touch with people, the alumni who become seniors, who are working in important positions in organizations. But then it becomes extreme. I mean, that it becomes transactional because that person was never invited in the institution. The touch between the student and the institution is lost. So naturally, he doesn't feel obliged to be part of the institution as alumni. Rather, he feels I'm in a senior position now, so the institution is inviting me. So this is because I'm in this position. That is why institute is inviting me, not because I'm alumnus of this institution. So that has to change. We need to. That's why I emphasized first 2 3 years. The networking has to be continuously kept on for association has to be kept on for 2 3 years. That means every student passing out should become member of alumni association before they pass out.
Yeah. But you know,
I mean, that is the time when you can get all the contact details, etc., everything. And then, since you already have complete details, it is easier to remain in touch, make WhatsApp groups and so on. And then, whatever institute is doing, keep them informed. Some important events. Don't feel that WhatsApp by every day sending good morning or etc. But some important events can be shared.
Yeah, Dr. Bakar, I mean, I so resonate with you. And if I can share, something,
Right.
I remember, and you very rightly put that, not after 15 years or 50 years when they've already lost that connect, right? It is when the iron is really hot, like we say, when they've just passed out. So I remember when I was doing my master's in the US, and right after that, we passed out and we were called in an informal get together with the students who are walking in.
Right.
So, and there was no structure to it, no agenda to it. It's just one person connecting with another. So even if I have not been placed, I am out of the university, but I have not been placed. But we all feel, and people stay connected, let me say that way, when they feel useful, valued, and seen. Right? So
True.
if I am called without taking into consideration, oh, I am this, in this particular company,
Yes.
or I am just called for who I am, just to share my insights with the people who are walking in, and it makes so much of sense then for the students that, okay, I'm just getting to learn from this person, from what he did in the college through his experience, and I'm getting to meet another person purely for the relationship's sake. Right? So that is what I think we resonate here very well, Dr. Bhaker. And if we can imbibe a culture in the universities per se, where from the very beginning, we also talk about these specific things, that we do this for our students. We invite the previous batch for an informal get together so that you can get to learn from them, which will be purely for beneficial, I mean, symbiotically beneficial, if you were to say that the people who have gone out will be seen, feel valued, and the people who are just walking in will feel so much, oh, I'm just connecting with another person who has been here, what it is like to be here, how will I learn from him. So that could also be, I mean, I see a lot of potential here in this thing also, that from West, if we are learning so many things, if we can bring something like this into our universities, that might help too. Karen, Dr. Manish has joined, Manish Rajoria, who is the founder of a career group of institutions, and he actually runs not just the colleges, but nursing college and a lot of other ventures that he's into, along with running Blue Collar Jobs AI. Manish was on the flight. He's just got into the car, is what I can see. Manish, If you could add your 2 cents onto how do we really see this thing happening or collaborate in ways where the alumni and the students get activated and faculty gets to pitch in. How do you see all of this together?
Good afternoon, everyone. Good morning, everyone. Happy to be part of this conversation. So, like I always say, people talk about compounding of money. It is basically compounding of relationships, which is very important. So, every institution which has been in business or in education since 5, 10, 20, 30, 50 years, it has a legacy and it has a very, very big pool of alumni students and alumni faculty members. We are understanding the value and developing these networks, whereas in the US and other developed nations, those institutions have really developed because of the contribution of the alumni network, not only in terms of financial resources, but the main advantage has been the alumni network, which helps the existing students or the new pass outs or the alumni. So this initiative of yours, where people are coming and talking and trying to see how this can further be strengthened, is really welcome. In our institution, which is 57 years old, and just to correct that, I'm not the founder. My father founded it 57 years back. I'm currently looking after the organization with a very, very strong team. And Preeti Madam has been my ex-colleague also. So it is the need of the hour, because our students, when they want placements or they are changing cities, changing jobs, they immediately bank upon people. So while coming from Bhopal, Bombay, from Bhopal today, the lady sitting next to me was an alumni of Career College. She's in Dubai now, and she passed out maybe 40 years back. So we didn't have her contact details. The network's not been able to find her. Yesterday I went for an eye checkup. My son was there. And the doctor says I'm the first batch student of career school. So it's so heartening to see these things. So if we can structure and make an engine which can really pull the alumni together, engage them, though we have the alumni meets, we do the 25-year-old Silver Jubilee. I come from Scindia School. We have a very strong network. We have a network in a lot of cities, in a lot of countries, and a lot of people are able to really leverage that network. So great initiative and so many academicians here. So I think I'm fully committed to this cause and would like to learn more and engage and contribute in this initiative.
Thank you. Thank you.
Can I add one
Mr.
point,
Joshi.
please?
Sure, please.
For lifelong engagement, that's the key word. I believe one thing which is a prerequisite for a lifelong engagement and not just a transactional relationship is we require champions. And when I say champions for this engagement, not just the champions from the institutional side, but from the alumni side also. Whatever best we do, even if it is Harvard or Princeton or IIMs and so, every alumni may not be engaged, whatever we do. And therefore, what is required, we have talked a lot about these WhatsApp groups and so, from every batch or sector or city or country, we require some champion who will take the lead to take the initiative or this cause further. Like Preeti was mentioning, taking some initiatives and so. So from one batch of, let's say 60 or 120, 4-5 champions can be identified. They will take the lead forward. Now, this is from the alumni side. Second, from the institute side also, we are having wonderful teachers who are not good researcher. and we are having wonderful researchers who are not good teachers. Same way, like every teacher cannot be a good researcher and vice versa, every faculty member may not have the orientation for a alumni engagement because of multiple reasons. One is, for example, Dr. Suman was mentioning, she is so passionate and engaged with her old colleagues, but every faculty may not have that orientation. But now, if we change the institution, and if the old alumni come, probably they will not be able to connect with me if I was not part of the teaching fraternity when they were there. So new faculty member may not have this thing, but somebody who is so passionate about this cause, right? So we require a champion from the faculty side who are so keen to take this relationship forward. So that's where the leadership role comes from the promoters or directors or to identify those champions who can take it forward both from the faculty side as well as from the staff. This is the point I would like.
Can I add something here? See, when I
Dr. Sun.
was, yeah, when I was talking about this kind of relationship and the collaboration between the alumni and the faculty, actually, I was talking about the alumni venture capital of the knowledge itself. That is knowledge capital, not only the financial one. You have network capital, you have experience capital, you have opportunity capital. So what happens, like most of the time, we see alumnus as that they are going to donate something, as Dr. Bhaskar, as Professor Bhaskar has said, they are going to donate something for the institution. Sorry, that is something which is not required at the most of the time, because institutions are running good enough amount of money to sustain, even in self-financing institutions, right? We need that wisdom from that alumni, which is going to guide our students, right? We need to build up that community to community collaboration. If I have, say, for example, moved from one institution to another institution, it should not be that I am not talking to the students, those alumni who have already, I have already taught them, right? I'm still connected with those institutions, those students, sorry. And in the new institution, I can bring that kind of collaboration, because now that coming that experience, alumnus coming to the new institution may give some new kind of networking, new network, new connections, new kind of, the knowledge they are sharing. So it is not only the community inter a college, it is inter college kind of, inter institution kind of community, which can be built up if we actually think about on the broader perspective for our students. Secondly, what I think is, like, in terms of collaboration, we should not stop thinking that students are participating at the when they are part of the institution as an student club member for this particular thing. We should think of the alumni meets not only happening once a year. We should break those alumni meets into small chapters, like where they can have like student clubs, say for example 4 clubs working together and bringing one kind of alumni chapter. So whosoever has that alumnus has that common interest, they are going to come on the same platform. Another thing is, when you try to collaborate, right, one of the common medium is now that universities and institutions are forming is through the alumni meets. We try to connect, and we try to connect, have a network of communications, right? But the thing is, if you have so much of alumnus coming together on a single alumni meet, they are not effectively making that particular connect among themselves, right? So what I think is that we should maintain, and in fact, every alumni meet should be broken down into small chapter meets, whether it should be state-wise, country-wise, or something like that. I'm very proud to be associated with such institutions who have worked with, okay, say for example, USA is there, so USA meet is there. So whosoever is working in USA, they can come and meet and then collaborate, and that connection actually helped those students also a lot when they are working in USA itself. Similarly, when there are students who are, we know as a database that, okay, there is so many students who is working in Mumbai, so many students working in Bangalore, they all cannot come to my premier institution which is in Delhi. So why not conduct a chapter meet for the Bangalore students as one, Mumbai student as one? Because not only this, when we try to have these chapter alumni meets, we can call the current students as an part of the this particular meet, organizing and doing the things. That networking, that close knit networking collaboration is going to take this particular thing a lot bigger way than anything else. Like we have to transform. What I feel is from student club to alumni chapters, from research lab to startup community and NGO networks and so on. We are supposed to form the groups. We are supposed to build up something like this is one platform. If this is one, my current student is there, one a student which is just 1 or 2 year old graduate pass out is there, one with a 10-year-old pass out connectivity. The kind of connectivity, the kind of collaboration this kind of thing is going to bring is ultimate. It is going to take that association, that collaboration to the next level. That's what
Dr.
I feel.
Suman, yeah, Dr. Suman, you've given me the perfect opportunity to talk about the Pico platform because that's exactly what we have done, right? As I explained to you all. So the way the platform is created is not to duplicate any WhatsApp group or online communities that you have. Please continue having those. There's no problem. But what the platform does is provide a space to bring all of that together as a registry. Number one, so that every single alumni can be registered. So it's not like a database, but it's really about understanding who they are and what they can offer because each of them have a different persona. So the first thing is that, okay, mapping your students and allowing them to map it themselves voluntarily. Because the minute you force it onto them, nobody wants to be a part of it. But if you show them something so beautiful to say, hey, are you a partner? Are you an entrepreneur? Are you a citizen? I mean, anybody likes to take that test. Everybody who's taken, in fact, I would ask all my viewers here, if you have not yet seen that, please check the persona test and do it, right? So it becomes a voluntarily part of being part of the community. Number one. Number two is, like you said, there are different levels of engagement, right from a very city level to a state level to a country level to a continent level, right? That's again something that you can do on the platform. So register it based on that. So that's one. Second is a repository. No matter what you do in a WhatsApp group, your messages come so many that you lose track of anything that is there, right? And anybody who comes new cannot keep track of what happened before. So the way this has been structured is it becomes a repository of all the different meetings that have been held. A little bit of the meeting details can be kept over there. Some images can be kept over. So it becomes a very simple way of sharing information without getting into G drives and online repository because that becomes very messy, right? And the third thing that it does for you, it allows to report. So suppose you want to do small projects together, you can also create Pico circles that allow you to create projects and then report on them all voluntarily. So what happens is you're doing two big things that happen for all your WhatsApp groups and online communities. A, you make them visible because right now they're not visible, right, to the world. How will somebody discover it in the first place, right? Unless somebody sends them the link. So A, it makes it discoverable and you get recognition for it. Two is it helps you to reach out to more new people very simply and get them on board and get them updated without you getting into long communication channels and interactions and all of that, right? So it doesn't overwhelm anybody to be a part of that. Because right now, the kind of systems that we follow, which is typically WhatsApp groups or online communities, can really be overwhelming to anybody to join and be a part and get up to speed on both sides. Like Dr. Nitesh very rightly pointed out, you literally need coordinators at every level. Whereas this way, it can be a self-organizing, okay, communities that automatically can find ways to engage without having too much of too much of control mechanisms and responsibilities that are based on certain people. So I think I would really encourage everyone to go to the piconet, explore the pico circles, and of course we are happy to talk further about it. But yes, like you rightly said, the need is there. But do we have the structure to do it? Do we have the right kind of platforms beyond WhatsApp community and online communities to really make it more efficient and effective? Yeah. So I would stop over there. And Preeti, yes, maybe we can bring in Professor Manish for one last round before we're getting ready to close. You don't even realize where time passes, right?
Right.
So yeah, over to you, please. Yeah.
Yeah. So, Manish, would you like to add something? Manish, I mean, anything that you would like to add that
No,
can
madam.
be.
I am in the travel and
Okay.
about to enter my meeting.
Okay.
So I would
All right.
apologize and
Yeah,
would
no
like to.
problem, no problem.
Yeah.
Karen, can we then really, Manish, I would really like to thank you. In the middle of the flights and everything, you hopped into the meeting and then shared your insights, and we would connect with you, once.
Yes,
Yeah. All
I'm
right.
fully committed to the cause and will
Yeah.
love to engage with all of you
Yes.
and be part of this wonderful initiative, madam.
All right.
Wonderful.
Thank you. Thank you,
Thank you, and
Manish.
all are welcome to visit us at Career College, and we run a very wonderful hospital also now called Career Institute of Medical Sciences. So a lot of research happening there.
Right.
So
Yeah.
hopefully we'll meet, connect, and do something very worthwhile. Thank you very much.
I think
I'll
thank you for bringing that up, Manisha, because I'll tell you one more thing is the connection between institutes. I think we need a lot more engagement between institutes. I don't think we do enough of that. Excuse me for saying this. I can say it because I'm outside of academic system, so I can afford to say that. But honestly, I feel that, right, the more, and we had organized academia bridge conversations sometime before as well at the Rice Summit, and honestly the value that can be created by doing that, we have created a knowledge collective. So I would encourage, if and thank you for the invitation, I'm sure we'll take it up and look forward to having collaboration between us as well. Yeah.
Thank you. So I will
Thanks.
request your permission to leave,
Yes.
and
Thanks.
looking forward to seeing all of you in person also. Bye bye.
Yeah.
Thank you
Thank you.
very much.
Thanks, Manish.
Bye bye.
Thank you. I would like to, wonderful insights from everybody. And there is so much that has come up in this. I've taken a lot of notes, right from what Dr. Nitesh shared to Dr. Bhakar shared and what Professor Suman shared, especially, at chapters at different cities and how we can collaborate. And from all of us, our experiences, I think my closing thoughts, are that we are talking here right now. And can we really sit back once this thing is done and start to, you know, take some actionable steps at our own level to actually revive this whole thing? If we are doing at certain level, I do understand at Prestige, at um, Nirma College, and at Atlas and various other places. But if we can sit back and start to take some actionable steps so that we can have more engagement of the students and see how the alumni can become useful. And one more thing that came to my mind while Manish and everybody were talking, Dr. Suman was also talking, that sometimes when we're calling alums back for something, alums have an impression that it is for financial assistance. They need something. They know that they are recognized more as donors in the financial terms, not in the so much as a knowledge givers or as mentors. So we need to demystify this. So when we are sending out whatever invitation we are sending out to bring them back on the campus or someplace else, we should actually tell them that it is not about, like what Dr. Suman said, we have enough funding. We don't need their financial support as this thing. So a lot of alums actually run away from not being a part of these things because they know mere people want something from us. So all we want is really your mentorship, your experience, your coming and then just talking to the students. So if we can create that kind of culture from day one, that you are a student today, tomorrow you become my alum, and you come here not for anything else but to share what you know and engage with other people. Yes, Karen, you were
I
saying
just
something.
wanted to allude to a roundtable we hosted on the first day itself that spoke
Yes.
about beyond financial capital, human, social, physical, and natural capital.
Yes.
If we just start thinking a little broader, and don't always focus on the financial capital aspect in any relationship. I mean, that was about partnerships in general, right? In any
Yeah.
partnership, if we move the financial to one side, yes, you will need financial, and maybe you will definitely ask for it as well, but don't make that the first thing. When you focus on human capital, social capital, natural capital, and physical capital, you'll be amazed at what it is that you can generate to do more of what you want to do. And then of course the thing, I'm sorry, yeah, Dr. Suman wanted to say
I just
something.
wanted to highlight one more point, which I have gained it through my experience, personal experience. What happens is, as an institution or university level, what we do is we share the success stories of our students, right? But we forget the second part, that is the failed stories. What happens is it's not always the success story which is going to help that collaboration. Sometimes our student alumnus, they also need our support, right? So if we can share their failure stories, because the failed startups, the career mistakes they have taken, the research setbacks they had, the leadership failures they had, all these kind of stories, if we are trying to post it on our website or on portal, this is also going to correct, like make a meaningful, purposeful collaboration between alumnus and a current student. Because whatever that failure they have experienced, our current students may gain that benefit, like we gain the experience from our parents, right? If my father has a certain experience, he is going to tell me, okay, please don't do this. That same kind of that failure story of that alumna matter is going to help the other students and build up that association. Now, since that particular student, the current student, is facing that kind of thing, that person can connect to that alumnus, and then they can connect it further on certain things. And I have seen this kind of things, that there was one student, that's my personal experience. He was having, like, he had that technical knowledge, but he was not able to clear his number of rounds of the technical interviews. Now, what happens is I made him connected to one student who was again facing so much of, the problems in clearing that particular round of interviews in one particular organization I'm talking about. So what happened? The student gave him the total insight. See, this is the thing. This, you must be doing this kind of things. Don't do this. So if it could work out for one student, that failure story, and this is the thing you should not do, because his practical experience is shared that way, that is going to help to a larger audience. And as an institution, I think that we should provide a platform to the alumni where they can share their complete stories, and that is visible to each and every current student also, right? We should not focus only on our portal where admissions and curriculum and the current things are going on. We should have a space where that alumnus is also talking about certain things. They can post their jobs, they can post internship opportunities, they can post mentoring things. Even if they can spend an hour of mentorship to our current student, it is more than enough as a contribution from a alumnus to the institution. So we should, as an institution, as an in university, we should invest something in this direction also. We should not always ask for something from the alumnus. We should give them also, that in case you feel that there is some kind of problem in your career, you want to take some help, please, you are most welcome to come and connect with so and so faculty or so and so person in the university. That
Right.
association, that collaboration from the first day onwards is going to bring this collaboration to the next level.
I think that's an excellent suggestion to start that as a separate, what you call it, what Dr. Nitesh said earlier, that having somebody who's responsible for alumni relations and offer this to alumni as well. I think, Preeti, that's what you do somewhat as well. So, it'd be good to look at that. I'm really sorry, but we are at the end of our
at the
time,
end.
and we'll
Can
have
I
another
just one
session.
last minute, please?
Okay, yeah, sure. We can easily go on for another half an hour,
Yes.
1 hour for sure.
Just
Yeah.
just about 1.5 minutes, please.
No problem, no problem. Go ahead.
In management, we talk about task orientation and relationship orientation.
Yes,
And at
yes.
times we say that those who are good at task orientation, they are not good at relationship, and vice versa. But we see the best example of this in our family. Our parents, they taught us discipline, but they were concerned, they were offering us care and belongingness. Now, same thing, one of the barrier in relationship in academic institution is we focus a lot on deadlines, rules, workflows, processes, right? That
Yes.
becomes a bottleneck. So students should not feel, while these are very important, but at the same time, emotions, nurturing, care, belongingness, they are also equally important. So as an institute, we can learn from how we were nurtured and grown at the family level. And the last thing is, just to close this, to have a win-win-win relationship. 40 years back in 1986, there was a movie in Bollywood called Ankush. Nana Patekar ji was there. So there was a beautiful song, I'm sure each one of us must have heard, and everybody is Indian here. So the song is like this, कि इतनी शक्ति हमें देना दाता, मन का विश्वास कमजोर होना, हम चले नेक रस्ते पर, भूल से भी कोई भूल होना. अब इस गाने का जो अंतरा है, दैट इज वेयर द एल्यूमिनी रिलेशनशिप कम्स, कि सभी लोग, एल्यूमिनी एंड इंस्टीट्यूशन, कि हम ना सोचे हमें क्या मिला है,
करेक्ट,
हम ना सोचे हमें क्या मिला है, हम ये सोचें किया क्या है अर्पण, व्हाट टू गिव बैक। फूल
राइट।
खुशियों के बांटे सभी को, सबका जीवन भी बन जाए मधुबन, इतनी शक्ति हमें देना दाता। थैंक यू वेरी मच।
Thank you. Thank you, Dr. Nitesh.
Thank
And
you.
this was a wonderful, I think, a wonderful time to close now, because you summed it up for all of us very beautifully with this song. And Karen, anything that you need to, I just need to thank each one of you for your active participation and coming on time and sparing 1.5 hours for such a beautiful cause that we are actually addressing. Karen, over to you.
Well, there is really nothing to say, especially with that beautiful poem. And we've had
Yeah.
such wonderful conversation. As I said, we could have easily gone for another half an hour, if not more, but I would just want to thank you. What I would want to say over here as a closing thing is, we have decided after 12 years, as Preeti said, we have completely pivoted to create a structure that really fosters collaboration. And so for next year, the work starts today, because what we would like to do next year is showcase the successes of collaboration that are happening from this summit and showcase it in the next summit. So we'll be tracking this, we'll be looking at how we can work together. And I can only say this, that everybody who's listening to us and wants to partner, collaborate with us, collaborate with all our experts who have just offered their expertise today, I think please let's look at how we can do that. Do it on the platform would be obviously the best way possible, but there are many ways to do this. So we look forward to working together, we look forward to learning together, and most of all, we look forward to co-own the change that our world so desperately needs. Thank you all very much, and look forward to you being a part of the rest of the session, because we do have, I just want to say one last thing, is we have the closing plenary tomorrow. We'll also be having the RISE Awards tomorrow, so you will be knowing some of our really amazing awardees. So please join us and look forward to more of this. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Bye-bye.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thanks very much. Thanks, everybody. And I'm sure that everybody knows that we are all connected and can get connected via LinkedIn. So anybody who wants to reach out to me or to Karen or to any other person in this expert group, we should get connected and then leverage this thing that we have started today. Thank you very much.
Thank you very
Have a
much.
wonderful
Thank you
rest of
all.
the day.
Thank you
Thank you
so
so
much.
much.
Bye-bye. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.